Do you ever notice how the more successful you get, somehow the busier you become? Like the whole point of making money was to have more freedom. So you could spend time with your family and do the stuff you like actually enjoy all the stuff that you've worked for. But instead, you get successful and then your calendar's packed and your phone never stops. And then you feel like you're just working to keep up with this life that you built. And I've been there, right? You hit the goals, you check the boxes, and somehow it just feels like you never have enough time to do what you want. So why do we do this? It turns out that there is a very real biological reason for this. And once I understood it, I completely changed how I live. And I think it can do the same for you. So here's what's actually happening. Our lives and our brains run on dopamine. This is the chemical that tells us what to chase, right? It's the pleasure response loop. But it turns out that dopamine doesn't come from actually having things. It comes from pursuing them. So actually it comes in anticipation of things. This is why, for example, a vacation is not about the going, it's about the thinking about going. You get a huge percentage of the value of a vacation just in the anticipation of it. So this is why when you get the goal or the raise, like the house, you hit the business milestone, right? You get this quick hit of feeling of elation, but then it all drops back to zero and then you feel stuck. You get the fancy house and it doesn't feel much different than it did before. And the feelings of anxiety that you thought would go away don't, and the feelings of happiness that you thought you would have don't seem to last. And this is simply your dopamine system. And this whole thing is reinforced by society, right? We see social media and marketing and so forth. What it promises us is arrival, but what it actually is just doing is spiking our dopamine. So we build lives around this. And even stress and overwork trigger dopamine. So this is why we tend to overwork, even when we don't have to, because our brains confuse busyness with progress. And this creates this incredibly damaging cycle in our lives. This is why, for many of us, what we define as ambition, if you know successful people, you can see successful people, you can see this. The ambition can become addiction, right? Because you're just constantly in pursuit of this thing that you never seem to get. And the irony of this whole thing, for me, that I've found, is the harder you chase, the less freedom that you feel. And what I have learned is that creating more space in your life is not about more productivity hacks. It's not about some way to optimize every 15 minutes of activity. It's not about, there's no special system to get your way out of this. It's recognizing that your brain is dragging you back into what I have labeled for myself anxiety activities. And this is just the belief that the harder you push, you're finally going to feel safe. And so this is why so many people talk about in entrepreneurship, I was working 80-hour weeks to make this whole thing work. What I've found is the opposite. The less that I've done, the more successful I've become. And it's because I've had to learn that only a few things really matter. Most people are doing everything that they've got in their mind to be successful because they think there is some proxy between hard work and the outcome, when in fact, it's not true. You can look at someone, furiously cleaning floors and know that harder work is not the case. I'm not vilifying hard work. I'm not saying it's not necessary in doses. I'm saying we need to audit the way that we're thinking and how we're pursuing the things we want in our life. So what do you actually do about this? I'm going to share with you what's worked for me. So the first thing is you got to redesign your life around purpose. The first path to the first step to stepping off the treadmill for me is very simple, but also incredibly powerful. And it's this question. If you were going to live a life that was truly aligned with your purpose, what would your actual day look like? And I'm not talking about some fantasy land, sit on the beach, fantasy of arrival, right? Because this is not actually what is satisfying. Most people, this is why so many people who build a big business end up going back to, it's partially the dopamine loop. But the truth is I've never met anyone who's doing absolutely nothing who feels fulfilled. we're wired for contribution. Like our desire to contribute to the tribe. This is another thing, right? Is we optimize our life around external metrics rather than what really matters to us. And this is because we have this weird need to fit in with the tribe. And so if such and such has a car, then you got to keep up with them and so forth. However, I digress. What I'm trying to talk about here is in real life, with the responsibilities that you have, kids, work, and family, what would your perfect day look like? So here's what mine actually looks like. I want to wake up with the sun. I want to read and I want to meditate early in the morning. I want to make breakfast with my kids. I want, and this is a critically important point for me, I want to do 4 hours of focused, meaningful work a day. I want work. I don't want it to own my life. And I want to blow off work when the snow is good or the climbing's good or the biking's good or whatever. I want flexibility. I want control over my time. Every day, I want at least a couple hours outside. Every day that I reasonably can, given my slowly aging body and inability to recover at the speed that I once could. I want to have dinner with my family, and I want calm evenings. I want calm and I want peace, and I don't want to have to sacrifice living a good life for that. I don't want to have to earn peanuts to live like this. This is what freedom looks like for me. The question then becomes, what is this for you? And I think so many of us have never taken a moment to step back and say, what would my life actually look like if it were perfect? The life I'm actually living, not some fantasy life that doesn't exist. There's the old maxim, right? That if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. For many of the folks watching a video like this, your perfect life is much closer than you think. Perfect, right? But you have to be able to picture it. If you can't picture it, you can't build it. All right, the second thing is you have to start thinking in terms of leverage. Whatever you want in your life, whatever that looks like, you are going to have to get control over your time. This is another reason that the higher we climb, the less we feel fulfilled. Because especially if you have a job, and a lot of times for people with businesses, what we do is we think that the higher up we go, the more freedom we'll get, right? Because we'll get income. But what actually happens is especially in a job, you get incremental increases in income and exponential increases in responsibility. And so the higher you go, the less freedom you have. And so the next thing to do is, and I had to learn this the hard way, is you have to start thinking through the lens of leverage. So what do I mean when I say leverage? Most people hear leverage, and what they think I mean is money or getting enough money in a retirement account so you can live off the 4% rule or whatever. This is not what I mean. That's all great. If you've got enough money to live on 4%, great. However, leverage is a way of thinking. Leverage is a law of physics. And I relate it in this way because it is such a foundational piece of our universe that once you start thinking this way, you will be unable to stop seeing it. Leverage says a small force applied well moves big things, right? But what our culture teaches us is that more activity is the thing that is going to create the outcomes in our life. So we stop thinking through the lens of leverage and we start thinking through the lens of hard work, because the hard work gives us dopamine. The leverage, the taking the step back to say, what if I wanted to earn 4 times much in the same amount of time? What would that system look like? There's no immediate dopamine in that. That feels scary because you have to sit and think about that thing, right? And so you have to step back and you have to start thinking through the lens of leverage. But what most people don't realize is leverage exists all around them. If you have any level of success right now, your skills are leverage. They can be leveraged in a better way than a job. What is a job? A job is a consulting business with one client where you've exchanged security, which is false. Meta just laid off how many of their AI team? If you thought any company job would be safe, you'd think AI plus Meta, right? They just laid off all these folks. Jobs are not safe. You could think in terms of skills. You could think in terms of systems. I'll make another video about the 5 kinds of leverage that I think about in my life. If you want to see that, you can subscribe, hit the bell, whatever, those things. You can also, there's a link for my newsletter, which is free. I'll email it out there. But you have to start thinking through the lens of leverage. So most people sell their best skills to a single buyer, right? And this is one of my core messages that I want to get out there on this channel, is that a job is a consultancy with a single client, but we've been taught to see a job as the default way to make money. It isn't. If you take those same skills and you build systems around there, use automation and processes, a one-person business model, you create frameworks, you can make 10 times more in a fraction of the time. I went from $75 an hour as a copywriter to $75,000 a project as a messaging strategist. I was applying the same thing. I changed the way I packaged it, and I changed the way that I earned. And I'll link to in another video here, either here in the description, from Fletch. They did the same thing. They were product marketers. They created a consultancy. There's another video on my channel. I'll link this one also, about 5 people who built $1 million consultancy. I don't know if it's million or 500,000. By the way, if these numbers sound crazy to you, they're not. I'm telling you, they're not. I was just talking to someone in our community yesterday named Sarah. She's only been in her business less than a year. She's making about $250 a year on 25 hours a week. She comes out of the agriculture industry. It's not just tech. It's actually meat products. Anyhow, we are trained and told by the internet, right, that hard work is success. And we can look and say that hardest working people are not the most successful. The person with 3 jobs is not the most successful. The smartest working people are. And again, I'm not vilifying hard work. I'm not pretending you never have to work hard, but hard work is only ever going to get you so far. If you don't step outside of the system and build leverage for yourself, you will never get the freedom that you wanted from the money in the first place. This single idea, what you work on and who you work on it with, matters far more than how hard you work, changed my perspective about how I was going to show up and earn in the world. Oh yeah, I was going to do a little reminder in the video here that I'm putting together a step-by-step framework around this idea. If this is something that's interesting to you, about how to start thinking about taking skills you already have and turning them into a business, it'll be free. I will link it. I will link below where you can sign up to get it in the future if that is something that's interesting to you. In the interim, moving on to step 3 here, or idea 3, and this is learning to turn it off. What I have learned is that our brains live in this constant delusion, that we're going to arrive somewhere. You're going to get a certain amount of money or a perfect system or a relationship, and then you are going to finally feel how you thought you wanted to feel. And I can tell you, every number you hit, everything you get, that feeling doesn't come until you decide to start feeling that way. So the time to feel how you want to feel is now. And I want you to, if you're willing, do this simple little thought exercise with me. You don't, for 1 second in your life, stop to think about appreciating having heat in your house, or clean water, or food whenever you want, or a car that can drive you anywhere in the world, or that for a relatively inexpensive price, you can buy a seat on a plane that will bring you across the entire globe in less than a day. Every single thing that I just described is an unimaginable luxury for the richest people on the planet, even a few generations ago. But we cannot find gratitude in these things. If we cannot find gratitude in these simple things, do we think that we will find it at $10 million or on a private plane or with another promotion or whatever? It is impossible that that will be the case. The feeling doesn't come later. It only happens when you start to just live it now, which is why I'm such a proponent of understanding what do you actually want your days to look like. Because I bet you, for a huge percentage of the people that will watch this video, whether you have kids, I have 2 kids, you can make this happen much easier than you think. It's 12 months of work for a lifetime of the back end. Now, for me, this is not something that you fix once. I easily can slip back into this chase all of the time, and I'll either find myself, filling every hour, or saying yes to things I shouldn't, or setting arbitrary number goals that I know aren't going to get anywhere, or trying to prove something that nobody cares, if I prove. So what I built for myself is this philosophy that I call time wealth. And it's just a set of principles and habits and systems that help me stay focused on what matters to me so that I own my time, I'm doing meaningful work, and I'm living on my terms. I will share, if this is interesting, let me know in the comments. I'm going to share more about this on the channel. I'm also going to put together there'll be free resources about the things that I do. You can sign up in the newsletter. I'll do them there. You can find them on this channel. I'll put them in all of these places, but I would love to hear from you if any of this resonates in your life, if it's something you found to be true for you and where you've seen it, and if you've done things for yourself that have helped you to recognize that this, pursuit is not going to get you where you wanted and what you've done instead. So with that, check out the videos here, which expand on these ideas. I'm going to leave the ones I discussed in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.